Well, here we are. A traitor among the crew. There is no crew. So, this presents a problem for me showing certain traitor objectives, but I'm gonna do my best. So, I have, first off, let me de-admin myself like a professional would have done before he started recording. Here are some basic objectives. Normally, you probably won't have this many. I just added a bunch just to give myself a few things to do, or to give an example of some things you might have to do. But basically, what I'm gonna go through in this tutorial is some basic shit. I am not a super robust trader. I typically do not play and tag that often, and when I do, I typically ignore my objectives and just play with the fun toys that I'm given, since for the most part, rules don't apply to you when you're a trader or any other sort of antag. But today we are attacking the typical trader, and this is going to be some basics for new people. If you're already vet at this shit, there's not going to be anything you need to know. But first off, you might notice this isn't what you normally see when you're given trader. You're going to hear a weird noise, which is pretty unique. And then, just so I can get my thing up, notes. Where are my notes? There they are. So, it will normally tell you this as soon as you join the round as a trader. It'll display this information down here. It'll tell you your uplink passcode, which is very important to the trader, and your code phrases and responses, which I will get into a little bit later. But first off, what you're gonna want to do is find a safe place to access your uplink, which is basically the thing that is gonna give you some neat toys. So what you want to do, see this uplink passcode, copy it like so, and then take your PD out, use it, go to your messenger and click set ringtone, paste that code, and you've got this fancy menu here. Now, let me preface this by saying this is your currency for buying things in this menu. You do not start with 500. This 500 is just for teaching purposes on my part. You start with 20 TC by default. I don't know if that changes depending on what server you're on, if they give you more or less. I doubt they'd ever give you more. But this is your currency. First off, whenever you've got this menu open, if somebody gets your PDA from you and they activate it, they're going to see this. They're going to know you're a trader. So whenever you're done here, always press the lock. And that way, when you open your PDA, it's up to this again. So then you go back to your messenger and you have to do this all over again. So on and so forth. So now that we've secretly gotten that, normally you would not be doing this in the open. Just throwing that out there, because all of this is surefire stuff to show that you're a trader. But for educational purposes, I'm going to go to this little range that I've set up here with some test dummies, as you can see, which we will be testing out various weapons and everything on. I'm not going to go through every single weapon in this list or tool. That'd take forever. Plus, it gives you some very good tool tips already. Just gonna go through some weapons and whatnot so you can see their effects, how quickly they take a person out if they're a weapon, or if it's a tool that's, not normally given to you, or not normally given to you, that's not what I meant. It's a tool that's, you know, is trader specific. So let's start at the top. Bundles and telecrystals. So these would normally drain your entire thing. They're just like, it tells you, you know, it doesn't really tell you what you'll get, but I'll show you what you get. And there's also random item. It doesn't actually cost 0 TC. It's just a random amount of TC depending on what it is. From what I can tell, you can get things that you can't normally get from this list by choosing this, such as the clown car. Though maybe the clown can get the clown car in this role restricted thing, which I'll go into later. I don't actually know that. That's another thing I'm not going to be able to cover, is all the role restricted and species restricted tools, because that would require me going through a lot of shit to get to. So you're probably wondering what telecrystals are. Telecrystals are this thing, your currency. You can get raw ones. Why would you want raw ones? Well, if you have identified who your trader compadres are, which, you know, you may have conflicting objectives sometimes, though I think that's pretty rare. More or less, you want to hook up with your friends, and you hook up with your friends via the code phrases, basically. But this is for if you want to trade with them. Got a feeling this is going to be one hell of a long video going through all this stuff. But if you're curious about code phrases and stuff, if you go back into your notes, you'll see there are code phrases and code responses. So if I were to say, wow, that curator sure is large. Well, large like a thermonuclear weapon. So this never used to be a thing, but you'll notice that the code phrases are all in a different color, and your fellow traders will see that. Now, I wouldn't advise using every single code phrase in a sentence, because it's pretty obvious. I think it leads to some pretty unnatural, you know, sentences and stuff. But use one or two, and then the code response. Let's just say cherries. See, the responses come up in red. So that's how you can identify fellow traders. Now, the only reason that trading these crystals I've seen for would be something else that we'll see later. And I'll mention that when we see it. So let's first off click this. Thing that you order will appear in your hand. If you don't have any free space, it'll dump it on the floor, so be careful. I am just going to show you what is in these. That's all I'm going to do, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. So, this was the tactical one, I believe. Gives you soap, health analyzer, which isn't a health analyzer, a pen, which isn't actually a pen, and I'll go into that into more detail in a bit. And some thermals that basically this is all stuff that I'm going to show you later, and you'll understand what is in this kit later on. Just want to show you, so if you want to order one of these. Now, these do get rid of all of your TC. They cost 20. You got a stem pack in this one, an agent card, which I've personally never seen the real point of. Black jumpsuit. This is probably a chameleon jumpsuit, if I had to guess. And then a pistol, so on and so forth. Like I said, we'll get into that later. Conspicuous and dangerous weapons. Throwing weapons. Energy sword. This is a real classic, right? Glows of the North Star. All of these things have very, very useful tooltips if you hover over the cost. basically. So that's why I'm not going to go into super detail about all this stuff, because these usually give a pretty good idea. But I will show you some damage, how things work. Energy sword, that's a classic. How about just a Sketchkin pistol, which is in this box right here? And how about the Syndicate revolver? We'll try all three of these out. Let me put them away so I can do that. And then you might also want, you're using that Sketchkin pistol, you might want to go to stealthy inconspicuous weapons. Get yourself a suppressor. So to add the suppressor to this pistol, you have to have it in your hand. And then with the active hand on the suppressor, click that. You've got yourself a suppressor. Let's see what kind of damage this stuff does, so you can decide if you want to use these things or whatever. So always aim for the head, in my opinion. So as you can see, that's super quiet. And how is this guy? How is he? He's gonna die, basically. He is still conscious, and the catatonic is because he's not an actual player, so just ignore that. So, Sketchkin pistol trying to kill someone is pretty good. It's a pretty good pistol, and it's quiet, and if you just want to get it over with real quick, it's pretty good. Revolver, much more powerful, much louder, and it's dead. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4 bullets dead. Obviously, this is a lot more, and since I'm aiming for the face, they no longer have faces, basically, so they're unknown. Energy sword. Z to activate, and let me show you something real quick. This is pointless. It's absolutely pointless. Let me point that out, but you go and get yourself a multi-tool. You click that on the sword, boom, rainbow. You can also undo it if you want, I believe. It's oh, you can't undo it. Interesting. All right. So shows how much I know. I'm really surprised that Beepski did not mess with me there. But if you want to know how quickly I'm hugging him, gotta have a hostile intent. Oh, there we go. It's pretty good, and you can hack off body parts, which is useful for making sure they're never cloned. Basically, if you get their head, space it, whatever, they're not going to be able to clone it unless, that head shows up later on. So there's that stuff. Let's try some of the weirder shit. So there's an energy dagger, which looks like a pen, and it is basically a tiny version of the energy sword. How powerful is it? Not nearly as powerful as the sword. Still pretty good. It's still pretty damn good. And it's only 2 TC. So, I mean, miniature energy crossbow. We'll go into the martial arts scroll later. Can't do it right now for reasons I'll explain later. Miniature energy crossbow. This is like an insta-stun. And I'm trying to remember what kind of damage that does. But it does, I believe it's sleep. Like, he's asleep now. I think. I've never actually used a mini crossbow. Let's see if this explains. Well enough to fit in the bucket, but send aside firebolts tipped with debilitating toxin, causing them, it has infinite number, but takes time to recharge. It's pretty good, but as you can see, it takes quite a few to actually knock the person down. But if you put enough into them, which it should, it should start with enough bolts to at least knock them out for a bit. If you, need to get them somewhere. And it's quiet, it has infinite bullets, you know, so on and so forth. Let's go on to something a little bit weirder. This is a boxed origami kit. This is a strange one. So it gives you a box, and it gives you a book and some paper. You read the book. You start reading about origami, and so on and so forth. Gonna take a little bit. Again, these are all trader items. If you are seen with these on your person, you're gonna be in trouble. Now you can decide by clicking this button up here if you will fold origami planes or not. Now, when you have it on, you take this and press alt click. Alt click turns into this. Now, you'll also do that if you don't have origami folding on. You'll still make a plane, but these planes cause damage. How much damage? Well, you can't hit someone while they're down. Let's find out how much damage. It goes for their eyes, and it knocks them down for a bit, which is probably the most useful thing about this, is it knocking them down, though it's not really long enough to, you know, knock them down to do anything. You might be able to get some handcuffs on, and as you can see, it took a while to get him into crit, but they're not great. I don't really see the point in ever using them, but now you know what they do, and hopefully that'll help you decide if you want to use them. How powerful they are. Poison kit. Not gonna go into great detail with this, but this gives you a shit ton of poison. All kinds of different types of poison. Really powerful stuff. Couldn't tell you what some of this stuff does, but boy oh boy, it's effective. If you're a chef or a chemist, I would recommend this kit because, man, you're going to be able to make some stuff that's going to be able to kill people real quick. Another cool thing about poisons, you can say, let's get this, let's get the, where's the cyanide at? Where's that cyanide at? There it is. Fill it up. You can inject this stuff into cigars and cigarettes. So now if someone smokes this, they're going to have a real bad time. Poison kit. A lot of poison. Pretty useful for fun stuff, but if you're just like trying to be real effective, maybe poison's not great. So here's the stuff that I was talking about earlier. This requires 25, which you will not start with. So maybe you talk to your syndicate buddy and say, hey, give me 5 raw telecrystals. And they give this to you, and you just stick them into your PDA, and it credits them to your thing. And then you'd be able to buy Romerol, which is a syringe. Or a syringe and a bottle full of the stuff, which is quite useful. Want to know what it does? Well, it gives you, or it gives the person you inject it with zombification or whatever. So once they die, they're going to come back as a zombie. They can spread that. Real fun stuff. It's some fun stuff. But again, costs a lot. You're going to need a trader friend to get that. Sleepy pen. You say, sleepy pen? What's that do? It looks like a pen. It has a completely stealthy attack, so the person isn't going to see that they've been hit with that. And I'm going to fix this real quick. Sorry about that. Had to fix that. Anyway, I will have left it in so you can see how long this takes. So apologies for that little bit of silence. But it takes a while for that to take effect. but it does knock them out long enough for you to do basically whatever with them, remove their radio headset, so on and so forth. And that's another thing. Any of these people still alive? Well, she is. Boom, they're a bartender. Why don't they have a jumpsuit on? I don't know. There's some sort of weird thing going on with my server files, I think, because for some reason most of the times jumpsuits don't show up. Don't know what that's about. So here's some hints before we well, I'll go through that after we've gone through all this stuff. We're gonna keep her alive for stuff later. Ammunition, basic shit. All these 10mm mags go into the Sketchkin pistol right here. If you'd like, I will actually show you all. So incendiary is probably, I think these two are pretty self-explanatory, but you might not expect the incendiary to do what it does, and that's what it does. It's basically a flamethrower, which is a little weird. I would have expected it to just set the person on fire, but not so much. Good way to get rid of evidence, though, as you can see. Grenades and explosives. I'll show you the damage of the C4 and the X4 and stuff like that. And I'll show you a syndicate bomb. These EMP grenades and implanter kit, pretty useful if you have to go after an AI, for instance. Whether you have to steal one or destroy one. I typically make use of this right here. Let's see. C4 gives you a big old bag of this shit. Something to note, I'll tell you, tanks 10 C4 explosives. C4 explodes in a round explosion. So, press Z with that in your hand. Choose how long you want the timer to be. Timer starts as soon as you attach it to something. So we'll see what kind of damage that does. Let's wait over here, where we're sort of safe. Not a lot of damage. C4 is fairly weak. X4 costs less. That's because you only get 3, I believe. Now this stuff is more powerful, and it's a directed explosion. So it only goes in one direction instead of like around. So let's attach this to this door and I'll show you what I mean. So there shouldn't be an explosion right here. It should only go forward. So it should be safe to stand right here. I might be proven wrong. I was proven wrong. Uh-oh. But as you can see, far more powerful. So yeah. Guess that's the end of the tutorial. Shit. Not really, though. So yeah, a lot of damage. X4 is pretty good, which is why they only give you 3 of it. Let's see. How about, I'll show you how to set up a pizza bomb. So, pizza bomb. Looks like a pizza box. You open it. It's even got pizza inside it. Set this up. Pretty sure you gotta take the pizza out, I believe. So you can, yeah, so once you take the pizza out, you can activate this. So, no real reason to set it for anything other than 1, because if it's not set to 1 and someone opens it, they can close it real quick and it won't go off. So now that it's set to 1, close it. The next person that opens that, boom! They dead. Or at least close to it. That's a pizza bomb. So, Syndicate mini bomb. Basically a grenade, but much more powerful than your typical grenade. How much more powerful? Let's find out. It's pretty powerful. That's pretty good against the vault. So yeah. It's that Syndicate bomb. This motherfucker is large, so they only give you a little beacon. So to actually use this, you gotta have the beacon in your hand. Then activate it. It'll be locked on. So, 60 is the lowest you can go for this. And you can drag it, lock it. You can lock it down with a wrench so people can't drag it. Of course, most people know they just need to wrench it and get rid of it. Need to space it. This thing explodes very large, so I'm not really gonna set it off, but you know how to set it off now. Just do that, start the countdown. Makes a beep when it's active, so it is not stealthy. People can hear it, people can find it, people can, you know, get rid of it. Pretty sure you can even, if they're not gonna space it, they can actually cut wires in it to disarm it. So, stealth and camouflage. A lot of this stuff is, we can't stand here anymore. I have damaged the station. This is not the direction I want to go. Alright, let's go back in here and slip on some soap. Oh, that's fucking weird. Look at that. The syringe has the inject thing over it. That's really odd. I wonder if that's because, that's strange. So, artificial intelligence detector, very useful if there's an AI on the station. So basically, this little green display will turn red when an AI has you in its vision. Basically, that's all it does, but very useful. So you're not doing anything sus when the AI sees you. Man, we're already at 30 minutes. This is gonna be a long-ass tutorial, guys. I apologize. So maybe I need to speed this up a bit. Let's see. Like I said, I really don't need to go through all this because it really gives you a good description of things. So, Chameleon Kit should be like gives you basically all of this stuff. What does all this stuff do? You activate it. Well, you put it on, click it. You can just make it whatever you want it, basically. That's what all of this chameleon stuff does. So you can just become anything you want, basically. And yeah, you can select the outfit. So if you've got all of it equipped, I believe that just changes everything you've got equipped to fit said job. So you can blend in and whatnot. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Let's see. Mulligan. This changes everything about you. This is only for if you've been found out. This was a last ditch effort. But I will say a previously unknown person being on the station, I'll use it. So now I am Hugo Bell. It's not foolproof because you're not going to have an ID or PDA or anything that matches who you are. So you're still going to be suspicious as hell. Let's see. EMP flashlight is just whenever you turn the light on, I believe it sends out a EMP blast. Let's make sure. Headsets, cameras, doors, lockers, attacking a target. Gotcha. So if I were to do that, and it tells you how many charges it has left. So that's how that works. Smuggler's satchel, pretty useful if you are wanting to hide stuff. So our current objectives, one of them I'm not going to be able to do. I just set it up to show you what it would be. So notes. We've already done this because that was one of my targets. So we gotta steal the captain's antique laser gun, steal a reflector vest, so on and so forth. We'll get to that in a bit. And I'll show you what this smuggler's satchel is good for that stuff. So that's a good overview of that. Space suits, hard suits, that's pretty damn self-explanatory. This is a space suit. This is a hard suit. Devices and tools, a lot of stuff in here. Gonna go through this as quickly as possible. Camera bug basically just lets you see through all the cameras on the station. Like I said, tooltips are gonna be your friends here. Cryptographic sequencer, this is every trader's best friend. It looks like an ID card, gets you wherever you want. There's a place you can't get into, boom, boom, boom. You can just use it one after the other. Cannot use it to get into this, which is interesting. But yeah, also leaves a trail. So, you know, the doors are basically fucked up and you're gonna need an engineer to fix them. So people will know that there is someone with one of these on the station, so on and so forth. Very useful though, not just used for doors. You can basically fuck up any electric equipment with them, including people or things like Beepski. Beepski, if you use this on him, will go fucking bananas and arrest everybody. It's also referred to as an EMAG, so when someone says blah 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 EMAG, this is what they're referring to, is the cryptographic sequencer. Things like decoy nuclear authentication disk, pretty useful. I mean, if you're stealing the disk and you just replace it with one of those, you know. So these two are interesting. Power beacon, if they have set up a Tesla on the station, you can basically put one of these power beacons down, and if you release the Tesla will go like in a straight path towards the power beacon. More interesting is the power sink, and I'll teach you how to use this thing. Power sink causes excessive load to the station power network and basically drains the power fairly quickly. So you want to put this somewhere where it's not going to be found so easily, whether you want to make your own little room for it or whatever. But you put it on the ground and drop it. Then what you got to do is screw it into place. Luckily, you can get a full Syndicate toolbox, which is kind of a waste of TC because who doesn't have access to tools? You take a screwdriver, you click on it. Now it's attached to the cable. You don't need insulated gloves or anything. Then you click on it and it'll turn on. It'll start to suck all the power out of the grid. You can see how quickly it works here. Pretty damn quick. I'm not gonna leave that on and you can't like walk past it once it's down. So what that's useful for, you know, no power on the station basically gives you all access because powered down doors can be opened with a crowbar. At least that's the way I view the power sink as its usefulness. Of course, there are all other benefits to having no power on the station. So, radioactive microlaser looks like a little health analyzer. You might notice this from earlier. It was in one of those kits. Looks like a health analyzer, acts like a health analyzer, but you can turn. So if you're a medical doctor, this is a useful tool. It irradiates people. You can set up how long it's gonna do. The more powerful you make it, the longer the cooldown on it is. I believe the wavelength determines how short amount of time they will feel it afterwards. But yeah, that's what that does. Trying to go through this quicker now. Protocrat, this is newish to me. What it does is you get a thing, say yes, and it crashes the market. I'll be honest, I don't know perfectly what that this does. But credit deposit machine, it tells you which ATM. I would go ahead and say you set up a bomb or something. If you want to kill a lot of people, you would set up a bomb near this. Boy, this video is going to be demonetized if the AI like hears all these like words I'm saying. Bomb, probably not a very ad friendly word. Anyway, implants are useful. Implants give you these little I don't know if I can get up from being slipped. Implants give you a little syringe. Click it on yourself. Freedom implant. I will show you what this does. All we gotta do is find Mr. Beepski. You can probably already guess by the little symbol up here what it does, but I might as well demonstrate, you know? If I can find Beepski in a short amount of time. Oh, he must be down here. No? Okay, that means he must be up here then. Or did I break that door? I don't remember. He's over this way. There he is. This is a bad place to get, come here. There. Okay, bad place to get handcuffed. But, handcuffing me. Hurry up, Beepski. Please. Okay, we're handcuffed. Oh no. So you've been handcuffed. Clicking this up here destroys the handcuffs and you're free. Pretty sure this has a certain amount of uses. 3 it looks like. Or 4. It says I felt a faint click times 4. So it is not, you know, unlimited use. Uplink implant lets you put your uplink into your head basically. And if you need the reminder, your uplink is this thing, because it says right there uplink. So you can do that, and you can just get it here. Does not have TC in it already, so you need to put telecrystals in it, which physical telecrystals. So if I were to take out 20 raw telecrystals, how would I actually don't. Oh, you just press them onto your body, and that's how it charges. Pretty useful little thing there. Other implants, stealth implants, make you invisible. I'll show that off. Eternal Syndicate radio gives you basically a radio that can hear everything, and it'll be in your body. So deploy the box. You're invisible. However, you will not be invisible if someone bumps into you, and I guess if they right click on you. This has infinite uses. It does have some sort of cooldown, because as you can see, I'm clicking and it's not doing anything. Storage implant just basically gives you a little like storage thing in your body. So boop, boop. And then you've got like a little hidden backpack, and these can only be like, it's only got 2 slots in it, but useful for hiding stuff that you might have stolen. Let's grab this. Species restricted, there's nothing because I'm human. Role restricted, looks like. Assistant starts with stuff. Tattered old jumpsuit that will provide absolutely no benefit to you. It fills the wearer with a strange compulsion to blurt out glorf. That's probably a reference to early SS13 that I don't understand. So this toolbox, the more telecrystals it has inside it, I guess the more damage it does. Interesting. So each job has different role restricted tools and stuff. Not gonna be able to go through all of those, but and again, tooltips are useful. Pointless badassery. Pointless dumb shit. Syndicate cigarettes don't do anything. Playing cards. Briefcase full of cash, whatever. Syndicate balloon. Costs all your TC. And it gives you a little balloon that makes it look like you have the Traitor symbol next to you. All stuff which obviously would give you away. Discounted gear. So this stuff can be super useful. This is randomized. I don't know if every trader has the same discounted gear, if it's like randomized at the beginning of the round, but this stuff is randomized at the beginning of the round. Sometimes there's more than one thing that's been discounted, but as you can see, a Syndicate mini bomb for 4 TC. Always good to check this stuff first. And then you'll see that they're normally 6. But you can get some real good shit from this if you're lucky. So that about does it for what I'm going to go through with all that stuff. That took 41 minutes. Whoo boy. So this little hole I've put in the station is becoming an issue. So I'm going to go through a few little basics for capturing people and just showing you sort of like stuff. This is the part that's going to be hard for me since I don't play Traitor that much. But say you want some handcuffs. Handcuffs are useful for a Traitor. Find some cable coil, press Z on them while they're in your hand or activate them. You can make cable restraints, which are good on the fly handcuffs. Technically not necessarily illegal to have, I'm not sure. So that's a good tool for you to have. Another good tool you can make yourself. You can make a stun rod out of some rods here. I believe cable restraints and a battery. Let me see here. So you've got all that on the table. Look your little thing here. Let's see, stun prod, cable restraints, metal rod, igniter. You do need the. So now you can see stun prod. Craft it. You do need the battery though, because it doesn't cut. So you've got this little thing now. Take the battery, put it on. Now you've got a little stun rod. Pretty useful. Easy Traitor item to make for stunning people, so on and so forth. Now once you stun someone, as soon as you stun someone, let's I'll go to that person I left. Looks like that credit deposit machine was destroyed and station funds stopped draining. So here's the person I left. Here's an example of what you want to do once you've stunned someone. I unfortunately did not grab those friggin' handcuffs I made, but yeah, I'll go grab them. I couldn't grab them because I used them to make this thing, but I made some new ones. So, stunning someone, boom. Gotta turn it on first. Boom. You're gonna go down, boom. You wanna do that, you also wanna drag, and normally, where is it? Ears. You want to remove this as fast as possible, and you might even want to do that before you start handcuffing them. That way, you can't call for help. Then they're all yours. They're fucking all yours. That's just a basic, It's what you want to do to kidnap someone. I've fallen on that too many times. So that's, some pretty standard kidnapping thing. Stun them, take their headset off, cuff them, drag them into maintenance. That's if you have to, get this person. Say you need to steal a reflector vest, for instance, though. And there are many different steal objectives that will give you all sorts of different things, and I can't go through all of them because this tutorial is gonna probably be like an hour long as it is, okay? So you'll have to forgive me for not covering absolutely everything. And obviously I can't really go through combat too much, but you know, hopefully you'll be able to figure that stuff out on yourself. So, reflector vest, for instance. I should de-admin myself. I had to admin myself because I may have died while I was getting those handcuffs. So, in character notes, steal a reflector vest and steal a captain's antique laser gun. I showed you where that was earlier, though I didn't really go through it. So getting into security secretly is pretty difficult. I would go this route though, but that's still, reflector vest is in the armory, so I mean you've gotta go quick. Luckily the EMAG is very useful, and we've got a little bot in here though, which normally I think probably attacks you. So might be useful to bring some EMPs with you, for instance. That EMP box I mentioned earlier that I found useful when dealing with the, you know, the fucking AI, EMP grenades and implanter kit. Very useful. It gives you an implant, actually, which basically sets off a big ol' fucking EMP blast. But here's the reflector vest. Oh no, we've stolen it. We probably shouldn't have did that EMP thing. Oh, well, we can get out through here. So, you know. Where'd my... Oh, right. You drop things when you climb on stuff. We're out, and as you can see, that shit lasts a long time. So we're escaping with the reflector vest. So you don't fucking want to carry this thing necessarily. Oh, right. I must have dropped it. I'm so good at this. I'm so good at making tutorials. There it is. Teehee. Okay, so obviously you're probably not gonna want to wear it because goddamn that's obvious. So here's that smuggler's satchel we got earlier. Useful because it can fit this thing inside it. It also comes with the crowbar that is necessary for using this. So pick a spot, pick a floor tile that you don't think will ever be brought up. Boom. That shit goes underneath the floor. That's the specialty of the smuggler's satchel. You can hide stuff in it too big to, you know, deal with. Or if you don't want it, and you can just go grab it at the end of the round. So that's pretty useful for stealing stuff. Now, something I haven't mentioned really. As a trader, one of your biggest enemies is going to be the detective, and well, security in general. So the detective's office is this this is the detective's office. We're gonna go ahead and break in here so I can show you some stuff, assuming it well, let me grab one. Forensic scanner. Everything you touch is going to leave a trace of yourself, including fingerprints. So, no matter what you do as a trader, get yourself some gloves of some kind so you're not leaving fingerprints all over. Yeah. And another thing that oftentimes is left on things you touch and whatnot, doors, so on, so forth, is fragments of your clothing. So let's go and see if we left anything behind on this door, for instance. Scanning. Prints. Those are going to be my prints. Of course, there's going to be a lot of prints on these doors because security is going to be going in and out. But on these doors, if they find your prints, and as you can see on that last door, fibers from a purple jumpsuit. So, it is a very good idea at the beginning of the round to make yourself an outfit and store it in one of these personal lockers. Get together an outfit that fills up all your different things, store it away, lock the locker with your ID card. Uh-oh, can't breathe. Okay, we should be all right now. Okay. Good idea. Once you've committed all your crimes, completed all your objectives, get a new fucking outfit, trash all your other clothes, burn it, send it through the trash and into space, so on and so forth. So you're not leaving traces of yourself behind. Because, you know, if you don't get discovered some other way, it's probably going to be a way you're going to get discovered. Now, whenever you have an EMAG, you absolutely have to do this. So, probably wondering, what the hell can you do in here? Well, cool thing is, use an EMAG on that. Best fucking thing you're gonna do with an EMAG ever. You might be thinking, well, why on earth would you ever want to just use your EMAG on something as little as that? Well, let me show you. You know what likes getting into disposals? Clowns. Clowns like getting into disposals a lot. And you know what? Man, fuck clowns, am I right? Just fuck them. Just fuck clowns. Just fuck them. I mean, really. Mimes too. Just fuck clowns and mimes. Is this bit going on too long? I think this bit's going on too long. Jesus, why is the fucking disposal so far away from the part that's like right above it? Anyway, well, first off, you got sent through here, but if you were to rest in here and then you go through this thing, it's like kersplat, and you're dead. So, I believe I covered some basics for you. This tutorial is way too long, so I better have fucking done things. Fun thing, you can detach this. You can detach this thing, put some lube it down the hallway. People go slip a slide, we'll go right into a blink. Yeah. So, I hope this was informative. I've been dreading doing a tutorial like this for a long time because it's not my strong suit. But I really hope I gave you guys some basic information, some basic tactics, so on and so forth. My best advice I can give you is go watch some people on YouTube play Traitor. Go watch Black Pants Legion or, you know, any of your other favorite SS13 people to get an idea of tactics and so on and so forth, because I know I can't really teach that on a server by myself. But I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope it was useful for you. Bye, guys!